And right out of the gate, November 1st, Clay, you got me started, and we started making calls, following the system, got me back on track in my business. Basically, once we started making calls, we've tripled our revenue in 3 months. Right now, I'm at a place called Kiwi Brewing in downtown Seneca. That's where my office is located. I've lived in Seneca for 25 years, graduate of Clemson University, business owner for 15, marketing for 25. So we got back on track, and then I had to get my team trained back into following systematic processes. I had to redevelop my edge and get tough again. I had to be tough boss lady, but diligence and routine. And that was one of the first things you said to me. We've got to get back into a routine. And I'm not a natural routine-oriented person. I have to have accountability. I'm busy. I'm a high producer. I can make money doing anything I do, but I have to have accountability. And so I knew that that was going to be the game changer for me. And within 2 weeks, I had other businesses calling me because they're like, what are you doing? Like, I can tell you're doing something. What are you doing? Including other agencies out of Atlanta. And so I shared a little bit about your program. I'm like, you are welcome to reach out to the Thrivetime show and talk to my coach. The system doesn't fail. I have been able to teach my clients the system and the process. And as long as you're diligent and you're consistent, it works no matter what business you're in.
Well, Thrive Nation, on today's show, I'm interviewing one of my favorite people. This is a true story. Eric Trump and I were bringing this thing called the Reawaken America Tour all across these United States. And we were trying to bring the Reawaken America Tour to the East Coast. And we were looking for a venue that would host us for the event. And as it went with the Reawaken Tour, oftentimes it was hard to find a venue willing to host us. And we got a call from a lady by the name of Carrie Unsworth. She calls me out of nowhere like a lightning rod of enthusiasm and energy and positivity. She calls and says, hey, my name's Carrie. I know you don't know me, but I can certainly help you find a venue. That's what I do. I'm a connector. Let's go. And now, without any further ado, she's on the show. Carrie, welcome on to the Thrivetime show. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Now, you are in the noisiest venue in America right now. Tell us where you're being interviewed from. Tell us where you're at today.
Okay, right now I'm at a place called Kiwi Brewing in downtown Seneca. That's where my office is located. I've lived in Seneca for 25 years, graduate of Clemson University, business owner for 15, marketing for 25.
And I'm going to pull up your website real quick so people can verify you're not just a model, you're not a hologram. It's unsworthmarketing.com. That's the website, unsworthmarketing.com. And I wanted to have you on the show today because you're having some big wins. You're having some big success. I'm not asking you to share the dollar amount with our listeners, but tell the listeners what's going on, because you and I had a chance to reconnect here. We've had an opportunity to be working with you, coaching your business, and it's really fun to see it happen. Tell us what's happening.
So started coaching just after 2021, coached with you for about almost 2 years. My husband had left his job. I stopped coaching for a little while. I know now that was the worst decision ever. I should have kept coaching and continued to grow. So I had the privilege and opportunity to come back in to the Thrivetime program and start coaching again. And right out of the gate, November 1st, Clay, you got me started. And we started making calls, following the system, got me back on track in my business. Basically, once we started making calls, we've tripled our revenue in 3 months. So really, actually, probably shorter than that.
Tripled the revenue in 3 months. Now, for anybody out there that says that seems crazy, you're putting in the work. I mean,
Yes.
step one, you got to know. If people say, what does a business coaching platform provide? It provides three basic things, right? One, we provide you with the tools that are proven to work, a system that works. Second, there's some accountability there. And third, I would say it's ongoing education. Could you talk about the accountability, how that's maybe helped or not helped with your business? Because you're a doer, you're a high driver, you're one of my favorite people. Could you talk about the accountability? Has that helped you with your business?
Yes. So to quote you, you said, Carrie, a doer like you is going to drift if they're not being coached. And that is exactly right. And so it's kind of like I'm a runner, and it's kind of like training for a marathon, and then you stop running, and then you have to start all the way over, and it's incredibly painful. And you're like, I'm never going to stop again because I don't want to start over. And so we got back on track, and then I had to get my team trained back into following systematic processes. I had to redevelop my edge and get tough again. I had to be tough boss lady. but diligence and routine. And that was one of the first things you said to me. We've got to get back into a routine. And I'm not a natural routine oriented person. I have to have accountability. I'm busy. I'm a high producer. I can make money doing anything I do, but I have to have accountability. And so I knew that that was going to be the game changer for me. And within 2 weeks, I had other businesses calling me because they're like, what are you doing? Like, I can tell you're doing something. What are you doing? Including other agencies out of Atlanta. And so I shared a little bit about your program. I'm like, you are welcome to reach out to the Thrivetime show and talk to my coach. The system doesn't fail. I have been able to teach my clients the system and the process. And as long as you're diligent and you're consistent, it works no matter what business you're in.
Now, what kind of what does it feel like to have momentum on your side right now? I mean, you are absolutely, and you sent me a text today celebrating another win, and I was like, we got to get you on the show right now. And so I just called you a few minutes ago. I said, we got to get you on now. What's it feel like when you have momentum on your side now?
Oh my gosh. So last year, obviously business ownership, you go into business when you're an entrepreneur because you want to own your business. You want to own your time, talent, and treasure. And last year I felt like I was going to work, and it was like the lowest of the low. It had nothing necessarily to do with the revenue that we were netting. It was really about the quality of clients, the quality of our business, and the quality of my life. And so this has been, I'm on cloud nine. I'm so excited. My team of young people are learning that calls are a numbers game. You call 100 people, you get 3 on my calendar. I have team members that can make up to $600 a day just by making calls, setting appointments for me. So that duplicates and allows me to be the CEO that I want to be, that God designed me to be. And it's crazy, Clay. So I'm going to share this because this is so pivotal, how God uses you. So we were on the phone on our last coaching call a couple of weeks ago, and I was making fun of myself for signing a tree business. And you're like, well, let me tell you about the tree business guy I know. He's doing $1 million a day. He's out of California. Let me tell how he got there. And you thought, I feel like you were just thinking you're encouraging me, right?
Right.
But I'm a dot connector. So what I heard you say is high hanging fruit, and how that business owner learned to target high hanging fruit. And I know what my high hanging fruit is. And I'm like, why am I not doing that? Why am I going willy nilly with lead generation and calls? And I'm not calling the high hanging fruit kind of clients that I want to have. And I changed overnight. I changed that. I got Sales Genie. I exported lists. I targeted companies that are $1.5 to $3.5 million in the industries that I want to work with. And within 3 days, I had meetings booked. And that just converted to, I've converted 2 clients since then. And the difference is, I'll just give you a ballpark number. My retainer is $2,750 a month. These are clients that are paying me $9 to $11 grand a month. And nothing changed. I'm not changing my services, and I'm not wearing myself out. I'm changing who I'm targeting based on my value.
Now, what's interesting, I always tell people that inspiration is the reward you get. I always tell them, inspiration is the reward. In action, though, not doing something, in action. In action is the giant. In action is the sword. I always tell people, inspiration is the reward. It's not the feeling that you need to get started. It's the feeling that you get after you achieve the result. Can you talk about just the rigor and the discipline, and now that kind of inspiration that you have now that you're starting to see success?
Oh my goodness. It's like I'm getting up at 5, I'm getting my workout done, and I'm excited to start working. I'm working before people are even awake, as you know. But the difference is that the people around me are affected by my energy. And so I'm able to draw in high energy people because my energy is where it needs to be. This is what God designed me to do and how he designed me to operate. And so I went from literally, like, my motivation was totally killed to, I'm like, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And, you know, part of that too is like the believability. You know I graduated from Clemson. I love Dabo Sweeney, and he always says, you can't be it if you can't see it. And I'm like, Clay, that's what you are for us. And so I'm like, yes, I needed to be reminded based on what I see in you and what I see other businesses doing, that it's possible. And I instantly was like, what am I doing? I have to change. I have to change what I'm doing. And it's really not rocket science. And I work hard.
I've got 3 questions for you here. The first
Sure.
question I shall ask, then I've got two team members that are actually 3 team members that are in the studio. I'm going to let them ask you a couple questions
Okay.
because you are exactly what you're like the ideal client. We want to work with people that want to put in the work, that want to make it happen. And these wonderful teammates, they work with great clients like you every day. And so I'm going to give them an opportunity to ask you a couple questions because, as you mentioned, you've been able to grow your business dramatically in less than 3 months. So my follow-up question for you would be, what do you say to anybody out there that's thinking about going to thrivetimeshow.com? They're thinking about scheduling a free 13-point assessment. What do you say to somebody who's thinking about scheduling a free consultation at thrivetimeshow.com?
I would ask them, what is it going to cost them to not do it? What is it going to cost their business to not reach out for that free meeting? And just tell them not to delay. Do it. You will not regret it.
Now, Jackie, I'm going to let you ask a question there. We're going to use that one mic at the end. So Levi and Jackie and McKenna, I'll let you guys all ask a question from that in there.
Okay.
So Jackie is a wonderful guy. He's doing a lot of web development for us. He's working with some great clients. He does a phenomenal job. Jackie, what question do you have for Carrie Unsworth, super client?
A question I have is what part of the coaching process really helped you with your business? Like, is there something that you implemented that really helped you grow?
Well, I mean, that's kind of a longer story, but starting out with Clay's book about, the top things I need to be thinking about as a business owner, like going back to the fundamental basics of, because there's 2 things. You're either a business owner, an entrepreneur, or you have a hobby. There's no in between. Okay. And so getting serious about my business and recognizing that if I commit to it, I can do it. Okay. So, and then the accountability of the process. Committing every week to meet with my coach is the same thing I require my clients to do every week. So why am I not practicing what I preach? So it's like you do reap what you sow in either direction. So I was like, I want to be what I want my clients to see in me, what I'm pushing them to be.
Wow. Now, McKenna, what question would you have? McKenna is a consultant here. She does a fine job. She also does graphic design, a lot of other things. McKenna, what question would you have for super client Carrie Unsworth?
What advice would you give to clients that are just starting out with us that, like during the initial events, like it may seem like a lot and overwhelming? What advice would you give to them?
It's a guaranteed return on investment, physically, spiritually, financially, emotionally, and psychologically, if you don't quit. And the diligence, like the consistency and diligence in your routine. You have to do hard things to have great things, to achieve great things. You have to do hard things. And I mean, that's really it.
Now, before we go to Levi for our final question, I do want to pull up your website one more time, and I would invite everybody out there, visit the website, unsworthmarketing.com. By visiting her website, it makes her website rank higher in the search engine results, and that's really a great thing you can do. If you've benefited from this show and this interview, please go to unsworthmarketing.com and visit the website there, maybe share on social media. That being said, Levi, we're back to you. Levi, what question would you have for super client Carrie Unsworth?
Oh, yeah. So earlier you were talking about routine and being consistent with that. What does your routine look like, if you don't mind me asking? What's something that you do in your routine that helps you get to that next level?
I follow that F7 lifestyle. So I get up early. I'm always working. I've never been the type that needed a vacation or time off. I have a very healthy mindset. Have high energy, healthy mindset. And I literally optimize every hour of my day and always have since I was like 9 years old. So I will say that routine for me, though, I have to have accountability in terms of the things that I know that I need to repeat that are healthy for my business. I have to have accountability in those things, because if I don't, I'm not going to do them all consistently. And in order to lead my team well and grow my business, that's not optional. And so it's not that I can't relax or take a little bit of a breather. It isn't about that. It's really about understanding the impact of my time, talent, and treasure every single day with what I'm putting in. So, I mean, I live and breathe by you reap what you sow.
Carrie, I'm going to give you the final word. Again, thank you for letting me interrupt your day. You were just sending over some wins via text. And by the way, folks, for all my clients, I pretty much am talking all day, every day with all of my clients celebrating their wins. Right before we talked to you, we were talking to a music school that we've had the opportunity to work with who's having epic wins as well. And so it's very normal for, I don't charge you per call, per hour, per text, per email. So it's actually a relationship. It's a positive relationship. And so you had sent me a text and I said, Carrie, we got to get you on the show right now. So thank you for rearranging your day to do that. What do you say to anybody out there that's tuning in that you certainly have their attention and they're taking notes?
I would say follow through, get on the call, and do the coaching and follow the process and learn the system and don't quit.
Carrie, you're a great American. I'll talk to you on Saturday. Hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Clay. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
It changes everything. I mean, you're dead in the water if you don't have a flow of people coming in. And I was just blown away when we started working with you. This process that you have us on, it's just bringing many clients. And I think last week we had 8 leads that came in just in a week. And I'm totally blown away with that. It's wonderful. Who knows where that's going to lead? I mean, I guess in a year we'll have 100 or more. Well, I will tell anybody that wants to work with Clay Clark that he is a man of excellence. He is a man of integrity. He is a man of vision. And anything that he tells you, even if you feel like you don't understand or you're not quite on board with it, if you'll just trust him, it's going to work, because this guy is a genius. And I totally applaud everything about Clay Clark. He's helping us grow, and I'm just totally honored to be working with Clay. And his, one of the best things you can have is objectivity. Objectivity is a total gift. And when I reached out to Clay, I didn't know what direction I needed to go. I actually said these words. I says, I don't know what I have that's marketable. And so we started in a certain direction. And then the more I gave him about who I was, he came back with me and he says, hey, have you ever considered starting a music school? I said, well, no, but that the objectivity that he was able to give me caused me to come back home, to Kathy. And so we started augmenting basically what she had developed over the course of several decades, actually. And so, now we're working together as a team. And I had never even considered that would be a possibility. I saw myself doing something entirely different. And so actually having a coach give you objectivity is enormously important. It's so valuable. It's more valuable than I can even articulate.
Now, Kathy and Lola, I mean this sincerely. You guys are changing the lives of kids, and I encourage everybody out there, check out that website, dulceschoolofmusic.com.
And I actually tell students this, what you will get out of something what you put into it. And that's just a process of music making. You have to understand the value of discipline, self-discipline. And that's something that I've always appreciated. I actually now enjoy doing scales and doing the basics. I enjoy that as a musician, and I've learned, with working with you, there's just, these processes, and I knew that it was going to be a little bit, I'm going to have to slap my head, okay, you got to get this done today, but I've come to make it a part of the habit of life, just like I do other things. Just a habit of life. Just first thing, get up and do this, that, and then start working on these other things that Clay wants, and and just build it into my schedule. And now it's starting to become kind of a routine, and I don't think about it as being distasteful. I like the journey, I like the process, and I'm seeing the results. And I knew that the results would be there. Because I trust you.
My name is Steve Beatty. I'm with Eyes First, which is an optometry clinic in Tupelo, Mississippi. This is the brains behind it all. This is Dr. Samantha Beatty.
We see a variety of ages and patients. We take care of medical issues, everything from glasses to glaucoma.
It's eyesfirstms.com or eyesfirst.com.
Okay, I'm pulling it up on the screen so people can verify it's a real website. Here it is. So eyesfirstms.com, eyesfirstms.com. How has the weekly tracking sheet, Dr. Samantha, tracking those numbers on a weekly basis impacted your practice?
Well, it's been eye-opening for sure, and it's given us motivation. It's given us direction. We've loved it so much that we've implemented it into our family as well.
I have seen an increase in new patients. I don't have that number right here with me, but I do know this past year, we saw 24% more patients than the previous year. And I know our revenue was up 26%, which was awesome.
It just means it's alive and growing. That's why we're here. If you're not growing, you're dying. So we love to see the new patients, and it's overwhelming how many we see daily.
How has it impacted you, Dr. Steve, to have a plan that is simple enough to repeat to somebody who just started working for you yesterday?
Yeah, that's a great question, because we have brought in some new team members this year since we've been working with you. And just to be, a lot of times I would have like all this stuff in my head that has to happen for the business to run correctly. But now I actually have a plan in paper, and they know what they have to do to be successful as an employee here. And we have like a big, huge win for today. And I don't know if this is what your question was exactly, but we are now the #1 reviewed eye doctor in North Mississippi as of today. And our staff was like high-fiving each other and all that because they made that happen. They're getting Google reviews, they're getting images, they're getting all this stuff going on. So it's been really cool to watch.
Can you tell us about how business coaching has helped you learn how to manage a team of wonderful people? You have wonderful people on your team, and how has it impacted your ability or learning how to manage people, I guess?
Right. It's very significant. We had a practice that we started in 1999. We sold it 15 years ago. The reason we sold it was the staffing and the management of our staff was overwhelming to us, and it was just hard. It was very stressful, and that was one of the primary reasons we sold it. At this point, we've been open 3.5 years, and since we've been working with you guys, it has simplified the whole staff management quandary that often happens at this point, and especially as you're growing. And sometimes it's easier to manage 1 or 2 staff, but then as you grow, we currently have 6 full-time, 4 part-time, so we have 10 staff at this point. And it can be very stressful.
We had one team member that was probably not in the best position for her, and we had actually considered letting her go. But I'm very loyal to a fault almost to my team, and talking with you guys, we found a spot for her. And like you said, we're putting systems in place so she knows what to do. She knows how to do it. The other new people we brought in, we had systems for them. They knew what to do, like from day 2, basically getting here. And that was not the case back in the past. So it just makes a huge, huge improvement and impact in our team.
I'm not really sure which one's the steering wheel and which one's the gas pedal, but you really have to have a to-do list and a calendar. Dr. Samantha, why do you have to have a to-do list and a calendar? And maybe what has our coaching program taught you about those tools?
Well, it gets everyone on the same page because our to-do list is accessible to our whole team. They can, at any time they have downtime, they can look at it and they can see where they can help us with our list. Our whole office has a to-do list, and each individual person has one as well. So it just keeps us on the same page. It keeps us focused. You cannot keep everything in your head. So it's written down there in black and white. So whenever there's a downtime, it gives us somewhere to go.
In business, a lot of times people feel like going to a coach is a sign of weakness. What do you say to somebody, Dr. Samantha, who's like, I feel like if I go to a coach, it's maybe a sign of weakness or inadequacy, or it shows that I don't have my stuff together. What would you say has been the value overall of having a business coach and coaching team like our team guiding you down the path and meeting with you on a weekly basis?
I'd say the number one thing for us is probably the accountability and the ideas, the expertise. Also, I'd say the expertise and the accountability hand in hand is very powerful.
So, there's a verse that says that God opposes the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. And I think that's super important. Like when you say, "Hey, I don't need anybody. I don't need a coach. I can do this all myself." That's pride. And that's, God literally will oppose that. And I think, we love to humbly ask, "Hey, we don't know what we're doing. We need help. We know how to check eyes, I think, a lot better than you do, but you know how to build a business better than we do." And, you got that picture of the Tower of Power. Did I mention that already?
No.
The Tower of Power, right? And so the Tower of Power is like you have all the little structures for a skyrise, a high-rise building, and it's got the foundation at the bottom. And it might take, I don't know how long it takes, but maybe a year, 2 years to build that foundation on a high-rise building, and then that thing starts going up. And that's what we're doing right now is we're putting the foundation in, and we're starting to see results in our business. And one day it'll be that high-rise building. But before, when we weren't humble and using your coaching, it was more like a jumble of junk because I had all this stuff in my head that had to get done. Nobody knew, nobody was on the same page, nobody knew what we were doing, and it's just made all the difference. So that's what I would say.
And Dr. Samantha, what do you say to somebody who's on the fence right now? They're like, okay, I'm going to go to thrivetimeshow.com and I'm thinking about scheduling a free 13-point assessment. What would you say?
Well, you have nothing to lose. It's a free assessment. You have nothing to lose, and it's a great starting point.
I love that you're month to month too. I don't know if we mentioned that, but you're month to month. So, like she says, worst case scenario, you got nothing to lose on the free assessment. And then after that, if it's not working out, it's not working out. And I think that's from both sides. If we're not doing what you want us to do, I think you're going to fire us, honestly. It was a gradual thing, but when I was a child, I had really horrible vision. And I was in the second grade and not doing well in school. And they finally thought, "Hey, maybe we should take him to the eye doctor." And I got glasses that changed my life. And so now I love doing that for other people. I think vision is super important. It's a great, important part of our lives. And so that's what we do.
Folks, the purpose of today's show is to encourage you that you have the mental capacity and the tenacity to grow a super successful company. Yes, it is true. The co-host of the Thrive Time show, Dr. Robert Zellner, is a very successful optometrist. And it is true that today's guests happen to also be optometrists, but you don't have to be an optometrist to become super successful. You just have to be willing to diligently implement a proven plan and to wow your customers, or in their case, wow their patients. So that being said, Dr. Steve, welcome onto the show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Clay?
I'm doing great. Now, what I'm going to do, just because of how we put together the show, could you share with us your first name and your last name and the name of your company, sir?
Yes, sir. My name is Steve Beatty. I'm with Eyes First, which is an optometry clinic in Tupelo, Mississippi.
And who is that wonderful woman next to you there, sir?
This is the brains behind it all. This is Dr. Samantha Beatty.
So, Dr. Samantha Beatty, how would you describe your optometry practice?
It's full scope. We see a variety of ages and patients. We take care of medical issues, everything from glasses to glaucoma.
And when did you get excited there about becoming an optometrist, Dr. Steve? Like, at what point did you think to yourself, yes, I want to become an optometrist?
It was a gradual thing, but when I was a child, I had really horrible vision. And I was in the second grade and not doing well in school. And they finally thought, "Hey, maybe we should take him to the eye doctor." And I got glasses that changed my life. And so now I love doing that for other people. I think vision is super important. It's a great, important part of our lives. And so that's what we do.
Now, Dr. Samantha, how did you meet Dr. Steve? Did you guys both share a passion for the human eyeball, or how did you guys meet?
We were in the same class in optometry school. We had a small class of 40 students, and we were two of them.
And so you decided to open your own clinic. Dr. Samantha, do you remember when you opened your own clinic or when you guys got started?
This clinic we opened 3.5 years ago, July of 2022.
And if people want to look up your website to verify you are in fact real people and not just models or holograms, what is your web address there?
It's eyesfirstms.com or eyesfirst.com.
Okay, I'm pulling it up on the screen so people can verify it's a real website. Here it is. So eyesfirstms.com, eyesfirstms.com. And Natalie, who has the opportunity to work with you guys and help you grow your practice, she's been bragging on you guys, and she refers to you internally. We call you guys diligent doers. And a diligent doer is somebody who's willing to consistently put in the effort day after day to make their business grow. Could you tell us, Dr. Samantha, how did you first hear about our business coaching program?
Steve heard about it, so I'll let him answer.
Well, I was familiar with you from the Reawakening tours, but I never got to attend one of those. And then I was actually Googling business coaches or whatever for eye doctors, and I stumbled upon you because of the Dr. Zellner connection. So that was kind of cool. But I was already familiar with Clay Clark.
Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see if we can teach people how to grow a business in 15 minutes. Now, doing it, implementing it takes a little longer than that, but I want to walk people through how to grow a business. So for anybody who goes to thrivetimeshow.com, you're going to see thousands of success stories, but I'm going to tell everybody the secret of how we do it. Step number one, Dr. Samantha, you have to know your numbers. And I'm not going to ask you on today's show, your numbers, but why do you have to know your numbers as a business owner? Why do you have to know fundamentally, okay, this is how much we're selling, this is how many patients we're seeing? Why do you have to know the numbers?
Well, for one, we love what we do, but honestly, I don't think we want to do it for nothing. And so if you don't know what your numbers are, you don't know how to set a goal. You don't know if you're growing, you don't know which way you're headed. So you just have to know that for a basis for direction.
Now, Dr. Samantha, most entrepreneurs that we first start working with, they're a little bit concerned or skeptical or paranoid or not happy about the idea of checking or tracking their numbers on a weekly basis. But I'm very insistent upon it. And over time, clients we've worked with for 10 years, one of my clients who was just in the office today, most of our clients are out of town, but one of our clients was in town today. I've worked with the man for over 10 years. And he said, Clay, that weekly tracking sheet has helped me so much to keep me from drifting. How has the weekly tracking sheet, Dr. Samantha, tracking those numbers on a weekly basis impacted your practice?
Well, it's been eye-opening for sure, and it's given us motivation. It's given us direction. We've loved it so much that we've implemented it into our family as well.
Now, Dr. Steve, when you start tracking numbers, one of the things you can find out is, uh-oh, or wow, or there's a lot of those feelings that, uh-oh, or wow, and we track the things that are going to grow your practice. We want to track how many new patients you're seeing. We want to track what kind of feedback you're getting from the online community, your online reputation. How's that going? Have you seen an increase in the number of new patients since we've started working with you guys?
I have seen an increase in new patients. I don't have that number right here with me, but I do know this past year, we saw 24% more patients than the previous year. And I know our revenue was up 26%, which was awesome.
Dr. Samantha, as far as seeing new patients, what does that mean to your business when you're seeing new patients? When you see a new person walk through the door, someone you can help them to improve their vision, what does that mean for your business when you're seeing new people?
It just means it's alive and growing. That's why we're here. If you're not growing, you're dying. So we love to see the new patients, and it's overwhelming how many we see daily.
And I think you said, I'm taking notes here, Dr. Steve. I think you said you're up 27%. Is that right?
Revenue up 26.
Revenue's up 26%. I'm taking notes here. Revenue's up 26%. So with your business, so step one, you have to track. And folks, I've written entire books about this. You can go to thrivetimeshow.com, click on the testimonials. You can get all the resources right there. We also know we have to know what our break-even point is. We have to know, Dr. Samantha, how many patients do we need just to break even? Not even to, make a profit, but you have to know how many patients you need to break even. Why is that important for you and your husband to have an idea of how many patients you need to at least keep the lights on?
Well, It's important because it totally determines our whole family's income. If, like I said, we don't want to necessarily do this for free, so we have to know what our goal is for daily, weekly, monthly, yearly.
Now, Dr. Steve, one of the things I try to do, and maybe I don't do a good job at it, we'll see. I've been doing this for 20 years, always try to get better. But every time I work with a business, whether it's an optometrist, a dentist, doctor, lawyer, online, shopping business, home builder, I try to make their marketing plan very specific, very repeatable, and very simple. And for each industry, it's a little different, So when I work with online retailers, their marketing plan is different. When I work with a home builder like Shaw Homes, we help those guys to grow from 14 million to 151 million. Their plan was very different than your plan. But let's talk about your plan, the plan specifically to grow an optometry clinic. We got to do VISMD. So videos, images, search engine content, more Google reviews, and we got to market to that Dream 100 center of influence. So again, video reviews, images, search engine content, more Google reviews, and marketing to that center of influence, that Dream 100. How has it impacted you, Dr. Steve, to have a plan that is simple enough to repeat to somebody who just started working for you yesterday?
Yeah, that's a great question because we have brought in some new team members this year since we've been working with you. And just to be, a lot of times I would have like all this stuff in my head that has to happen for the business to run correctly. But now I actually have a plan in paper and they know what they have to do to be successful as an employee here. And we have like a big, huge win for today. And I don't know if this is what your question was exactly, but we are now the #1 reviewed eye doctor in North Mississippi as of today. And our staff was like high-fiving each other and all that because they made that happen. They're getting Google reviews, they're getting images, they're getting all this stuff going on. So it's been really cool to watch.
Amen to that. Now, Andrew Carnegie wrote this book called The Gospel of Wealth. It's a small book with a lot of big ideas. And in the book, he talks about the 3 Ps. I'm paraphrasing, but it's a great book called The Gospel of Wealth. And in that book, he talks about the 3 Ps. And he basically says the conflict that is inherent within every business is every single customer wants to pay less. That's P number 1. Every customer wants to have lower prices. That's P number 1. Every customer wants lower prices. 2, every employee wants more pay. And I'm not attacking customers. I am a customer for wanting lower prices. I'm not attacking employees for wanting higher pay. And the 3rd P is profits. Nobody cares about the profits of the business owner except for the owners. So you have those 3 Ps, because if all the customers got lower prices, there would be no money to pay the employees. And if all the employees got the pay they wanted, then there would be no customers. And if we lowered the prices low enough and raised the wages high enough, then there would be no profits for the owner. I want to talk about managing employees. Dr. Samantha, as we go through the system, we start off on box number 1. We know the numbers. Box number 2, we get into marketing. How do we generate leads? But kind of step 3 for a lot of business owners is managing people. Can you tell us about how business coaching has helped you learn how to manage a team of wonderful people? You have wonderful people on your team, and how has it impacted your ability or learning how to manage people, I guess?
Right. It's very significant. We had a practice that we started in 1999. We sold it 15 years ago. The reason we sold it was the staffing and the management of our staff was overwhelming to us, and it was just hard. It was very stressful, and that was one of the primary reasons we sold it. At this point, we've been open 3.5 years, and since we've been working with you guys, it has simplified the whole staff management quandary that often happens at this point, and especially as you're growing. And sometimes it's easier to manage 1 or 2 staff, but then as you grow, we currently have 6 full-time, 4 part-time, so we have 10 staff at this point, and it can be very stressful.
Now, I mean this sincerely. I'm not just saying this because it's on video. I love my staff. We have some awesome people. And you know what? One of my longtime employees, true story, God bless her, this just happened. Her father passed away. Mm-hmm. And because we have systems in place, she came to me, tears in her eyes, and said, "Hey, he passed." And we were able to, my wife was able to pray with her. We were able to encourage her and tell her, "Hey, we care about you. Go do what you need to do. Take care of your dad. Once you do that, once you take care of the family, once you do what you do, you can come back, your job's safe here, you're all good. But I couldn't do that if I didn't have systems, and so a lot of employers hold their employees hostage. I repeat, a lot of business owners hold their employees hostage because they don't have systems and redundancies. And I also repeat in reverse, a lot of employees hold their employers hostage because the employer doesn't know how to do anything. Nothing is systemized. Could you talk about the win-win relationship you're starting to develop, Steve, with this great team you have there as you systemize things and things become more redundant and more systemized?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know if this is exactly relevant to what you're asking, but we had one team member that was probably not in the best position for her, and we had actually considered letting her go. But I'm very loyal to a fault almost to my team, and talking with you guys, we found a spot for her. And like you said, we're putting systems in place so she knows what to do. She knows how to do it. The other new people we brought in, we had systems for them. They knew what to do, like from day two, basically getting here. And that was not the case back in the past. So it just makes a huge, huge improvement and impact in our team.
Now, the next area, again, we say, what are the areas? Number one, you got to know the number. You have to know the numbers. I might call that defense. You got to know the numbers. If you have a football team, it's defense, right? Offense is marketing. So what's defense? Defense is accounting, knowing the numbers. It's that defensive side of the ball. You need that to win. Offense is marketing, getting new customers. That middle part is that messy middle, special teams. It requires a special team to make the dream work. And that's kind of how that all works on a football team and in business. But then you got to worry about logistics. If you're the head coach, how do you organize your day? To-do lists. I know it seems simple. I know you'd say, why would an optometrist need to-do lists? On part 2 of today's show, I'm going to introduce everybody watching to a man who has 371 employees. When I first met him, he said, man, if I could ever have 5 employees, that'd be huge. Now he has 370 employees. And so why would a guy with 370 employees need a to-do list? Well, to-do lists and calendars are kind of like the steering wheel and the gas pedal for a car. I'm not really sure which one's the steering wheel and which one's the gas pedal, but you really have to have a to-do list and a calendar. Dr. Samantha, why do you have to have a to-do list and a calendar? And maybe what has our coaching program taught you about those tools?
Well, it gets everyone on the same page because our to-do list is accessible to our whole team. They can, at any time they have downtime, they can look at it and they can see where they can help us with our list. Our whole office has a to-do list and each individual person has one as well. So it just keeps us on the same page. It keeps us focused. You cannot keep everything in your head. So it's written down there in black and white. So whenever there's a downtime, it gives us somewhere to go.
Now, my wonderful kids, we all have different vision. I've got the worst vision ever. I mean, and my glasses are so thick. It's like looks like some kind of device they would use to look into space to see other planets. It's pretty thick. I've got some of my kids have great vision, but whenever we need an optometrist, we go to Dr. Robert Zellner, and I've worked with him for years, and I'm happy to do so. When I need to get my car fixed, I take my vehicle to the garage. It's an automotive repair shop, and I've had the honor of coaching his business for a long time. When I needed to teach my kids piano lessons, I took them to Renee Pride. I'm just telling people, I believe in hiring experts to do what experts do. I believe professionals have coaches. I believe amateurs do not. And I think it's very important that if you're watching this and you're in the area and you're within the service area of your business, I think it makes sense to go to an optometrist as opposed to going to your wife and saying, what do you think's wrong with my vision? Or going to your husband and saying, what do you think's wrong with my vision? You want to go to someone who knows what they're talking about. But in business, a lot of times people feel like going to a coach is a sign of weakness. What do you say to somebody, Dr. Samantha, who's like, I feel like if I go to a coach, it's maybe a sign of weakness or inadequacy, or it shows that I don't have my stuff together. What would you say has been the value overall of having a business coach and coaching team like our team guiding you down the path and meeting with you on a weekly basis?
I'd say the number one thing for us is probably the accountability and the ideas, the expertise. Also, I'd say the expertise and the accountability hand in hand is very powerful.
And
Dr. Steve, what
I
do
would
you
just
say?
say, I'm sorry, I was going to say, so, there's a verse that says that God opposes the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. And I think that's super important. Like when you say, "Hey, I don't need anybody. I don't need a coach. I can do this all myself." That's pride. And that's, God literally will oppose that. And I think, we love to humbly ask, "Hey, we don't know what we're doing. We need help. We know how to check eyes, I think, a lot better than you do, but you know how to build a business better than we do." And, you got that picture of the Tower of Power. Did I mention that already?
No.
The Tower of Power, right? And so the Tower of Power is like you have all the little structures for a skyrise, a high-rise building, and it's got the foundation at the bottom. And it might take, I don't know how long it takes, but maybe a year, 2 years to build that foundation on a high-rise building, and then that thing starts going up. And that's what we're doing right now is we're putting the foundation in, and we're starting to see results in our business. And one day it'll be that high-rise building. But before, when we weren't, humble and using your coaching, it was more like a jumble of junk because I had all this stuff in my head that had to get done. Nobody knew, nobody was on the same page, nobody knew what we were doing. And it's just made all the difference. So that's what I would say.
I'm going to pull this up real quick because we have this wonderful visual that we've made that we use to teach clients called thrivetimeshow.com/Tower of Power. And from the bottom all the way up to the top, Dr. Zellner and I teach Google Map optimization and online reputation management and how to make a pro forma and website optimization and marketing and branding and workflow design and system creation and Dream 100 marketing and call scripts. And we teach all of this in a multi-hour series. You can go bite by bite, step by step, floor by floor in this diagram to learn how to start and grow a successful company. But I want to ask you this with the limited time we have. Dr. Samantha, we've also worked with you on scripts. So at a certain point, if your marketing's working, now you got inbound calls. Can you talk about the importance of implementing scripts or scripted phone calls or how we answer the phone in a way that's designed to wow? How has that impacted your company?
It keeps everyone on the same page. We've got the language that we want to get across to our patients, and we don't answer the phone. They answer the phone, the staff answers the phone, so they say the things we want to say to the patient every time. That's the goal.
Folks, I'm telling you, if I could just bottle up what I'm telling you and make it something you could just sip on every day. What I love about working with the doctor or the married couple team here is that they're sincerely great people. So it's a win-win-win. What am I saying? It's a win for my coaches, my team. We love serving you guys. It's a win for your business. You're growing, and it's a win for your patients. And if you're out there today and you feel even remotely stuck, I want you to head on over there. This is not a backhanded compliment. Go to eyesfirstms.com. One, it helps them rank higher in Google, but two, you're going to discover they're very real, normal people. You're going to go, oh, look, she's a normal person. Look, this is a great lady. This is the kind of person I want to meet at church. This seems like a normal person. This is not a bizarre person who's thrown their marriage out the window to make their business successful. This is not a person these are a committed couple who's committed to their business and their family, and I just couldn't be more honored to serve you guys. Final question I have for you, Dr. Steve. What's it meant for you knowing that you're paying a flat monthly fee, but yet you have photography, video, web, search engine, all of those things included at a flat monthly fee in addition to the weekly coaching and guidance?
Right. It just takes the stress out because, I'm sure there's other programs that, the rates go up depending on what services you're providing or blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the month, you're like, oh my goodness, I racked up this huge bill. Well, I know I've got a flat rate and we know what it is. We got to budget it in. We take care of it. We don't even miss it, honestly, because you guys are helping us to grow. So it's just been a great, great situation.
And Dr. Samantha, what do you say to somebody who's on the fence right now? They're like, okay, I'm going to go to thrivetimeshow.com and I'm thinking about scheduling a free 13-point assessment. What would you say?
Well, you have nothing to lose. It's a free assessment. You have nothing to lose, and it's a great starting point.
Dr. Steve, what do you say to somebody out there who's like, I've been scammed by a charlatan before. I booked a free consultation. Next thing you know, I'm doing a timeshare tour. I got signed up for a $5,000 a month contract after I was conned. I got stuck on a weird track. What do you say to somebody who's on the fence about scheduling a free 13-point because maybe they've been scammed in the past?
I love that you're month to month too. I don't know if we've mentioned that, but you're month to month. So like she says, worst case scenario, you got nothing to lose on the free assessment. And then after that, if it's not working out, it's not working out. And I think that's from both sides. If we're not doing what you want us to do, I think you're going to fire us, honestly. Is that not true?
Well, I'll tell you, that's how we had room for you. I'm kind of laughing because that's how we
Exactly.
had room for you. We talked to a wonderful person. It was a funny story. The father hired us to help his son. So the very successful entrepreneur wanted to hire us to help his son. And that's kind of like hiring a personal trainer for a friend of yours, and it just wasn't going to work. And so in order to make room for you, we had to offboard somebody. And so that's how it works. I want to ask you one final question there. I'm going to your website. Somebody's going to your website. If I am in the area, tell us, where are the markets that you serve in Mississippi there, Dr. Steve, for anybody who's maybe looking for an optometrist who's in Mississippi? What are the areas that you serve there in Mississippi, sir?
We're located in Tupelo, which is the northeast part of the state, and most famous for the birthplace of Elvis Presley. But we serve the entire area, so over into North Alabama, all the way to maybe Oxford, Mississippi, all that neck of the woods. So northeastern Mississippi. Now we may expand and have other locations at some point down the road, but right now we're nailing it and scale. We're nailing it before we scale it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I am so excited to see you guys in person in Tulsa. It's an honor to talk to you via Zoom. Thank you, Dr. Samantha. Thank you, Dr. Steve, for being a great example of how success is possible if you're willing to put in the work. Thank you for wowing your patients. It makes it easy to optimize a website, by the way, when your customers like you and leave great feedback. So thank you guys very much, and I hope you have a great night.
Absolutely.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Take care.
everything.
Bye.
Bye.
You could be anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here. And you chose to go somewhere. You said, man, I can go and I can get better. I can go and I can learn. I can go and I can maybe go from where I'm at to where I want to go. But one of the most important things that you will ever do or not do in your life is to value and seek wise counsel. To be coached hard means you have to be willing to be uncomfortable.
But that Clay Clark, man, he is one character.
It's a good word for him. Character. Yeah, that is it.
Good, driven, smart. And I've never met a guy who was so hyper all the time. He's doing so much good. And then I met his mother, and she just says, she just lets him be Clay Clark. I mean, so he's endorsed by his mother, and he's doing magnificent work. So it was great meeting you out there and all the people that he surrounds himself with. Clay Clark starts his days at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
Yeah. But I have problems with my company starting at 9 o'clock. Yes, hundreds of people showing up at 5 a.m. in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, he's a leader of a leader. He's a fantastic young man.
No, he is. He is.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrivetime, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. So I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement how to help you guys implement the SEO, and the coaching is just great because there's accountability, and it's just a fantastic way to grow your company. Having a relationship with Thrivetime it's just been amazing for MultiClean.
Clay, my honor to be on your show, and thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you. So congratulations.
Sean, guess what's happening? April 9th and 10th, 2026.
We are probably going to have an amazing business conference here at Tulsa, Jerusalem.
Yes, we're joined by Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is going to be joining us right here at the Thrivetime Show World Headquarters, June 5th and 6th. He's a very successful football player, obviously a Heisman Award winner, but he's also a very successful entrepreneur. Now, when you work with real clients, Sean, real clients you really work with to help them grow their companies, do you ever hear a business owner tell you that they didn't have time to get something done?
Every day.
How often is not having enough time a problem for business owners?
All the time. It's like maybe 90% of the issues as people are trying to grow their company.
Well, Tim Tebow's going to come join us here at the in-person Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop, and he's going to teach us time management and his approach to personal self-discipline and getting things done. Also at the workshop, I'll pull it up on the website so people can see it here. Also at the 2-day interactive workshop, Sean, we are going to be, there it is. We're going to be teaching accounting, systems creation, marketing, human resources, how to hire, inspire, train, and retain great people, accounting, social media advertising, search engine optimization. Sean, what's the area where most clients ask you for help the most? Is it generating leads? Is it hiring people? What's the biggest issue that most business owners have by default before they come to one of our workshops?
Well, I think it's management, because time is the most valuable resource for these business owners, and being able to manage their time is the first thing. Once they get that under control, then generally the numbers, being able to track their business and be able to make the best decisions based on numbers rather than emotions is a big area. And we teach all of this stuff at the business conference, particularly you, Clay. You love to hammer on time management. It's my favorite part of the conference.
Now, I'm going to pull this up real quick here because we're going to go through. If you're not excited, I want to get you excited about what we're going to cover at the workshop here. Okay.
All right.
The 2-day interactive workshop. This is my 20th year hosting workshops. So I'm telling you, folks, we're in rare form here. So one is the idea of establishing your revenue goals. I think most entrepreneurs don't know their revenue goals. Would you agree, or am I off my rocker?
No, that's totally a very important point we do with every one of our new clients that come on board, is we have to establish the revenue goals. And generally speaking, we have a vague idea, but not an exact idea that can be engineered down into like the daily goals for sales. And so that's a really big one.
Now, next is the break-even numbers. What kind of sales do you have to do to even break even?
Yeah.
Third is, how many hours per week do you want to work? What is your ideal schedule as an entrepreneur? Box number 4, how do you stand out in the clutter of commerce? What makes your company unique from all the different businesses? In a world of brown cows, herds of brown cows, proverbial brown cows, the analogy of brown cows, how can you be the purple cow that stands out? How can you be the squeaky wheel that gets the oil? Box number 5, branding. How do you improve the perception that people have of you, your business, your brand? Box number 6, marketing, your 3-legged marketing stool. What is a turnkey way for you and your company to generate leads so you can succeed? Because if you don't have any leads, your business will bleed. If you can't sell, your business will go to hell. You've got to generate leads. Sean, how often do business owners by default tell you they have a hard time generating leads?
It's almost all of the time. It's really a huge struggle. And many times they may be creating leads, but just through word of mouth. So they get to a point where we've implemented systems, and then they need to create more leads, but they've never had to do it. So there's a lot of different scenarios where business owners are like, how do you create leads? Something we hammer on at the conference a lot.
Box number 7, create a sales conversion system. Again, box number 7, create a sales conversion system. Sales scripts, recorded calls, one-sheets, pre-written emails, lead trackers, all of the sales tools, the sales print pieces, the one-sheets, the big screens that you see inside the business. Whether you're a doctor, you're a dentist, you're a lawyer, you got to have sales systems in place. We help you with that. Box number 8, what does it cost you to get another customer? Step number 8, what does it cost you to actually acquire a customer? Step number 9, it's hard to build an organization if you're not organized. We're going to teach you how to create repeatable systems, processes, file organization. Box number 10, we're going to teach you how to manage people, real people on the planet Earth. This just in, we're going to teach you how to manage real people on the planet Earth. Box number 11, how to create a sustainable schedule that works for you and your family. Step number 12, how to create human resources systems for recruiting, hiring, training, and retaining great people. Box number 13, accounting. This just in, we have to cover accounting. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. We're going to cover all the accounting things you need to know. And step 14, finally, what is the point of even achieving success? We're going to go over what is the point of even achieving success, how to design a life that you're excited about, how to design a life where you carve out enough time for your faith, your family, your finance, your fitness, your friendship, your fun, and where you're going to spend your focused time. We're going to go through that, all this and more. Now, the workshop, Sean, it's April 9th and 10th. It's a 2-day interactive workshop.
Yes.
And tickets, we always do it. It's $250 or whatever price that someone can afford. Sean, why do we let people name their price? Why do we have scholarship tickets available if somebody can't afford the $250 general admission ticket?
Well, we don't want anybody to miss out on it. You know, you could be at a startup phase or you could be, you know, way along in your business, but we want to make it accessible for everybody. I think it actually goes back to a story of your dad, and like it goes all the way back to how you've always done this as a business coach, trying to make sure that, you know, your average people out there have access to the things that work.
Now, 7 a.m. to 5, Sean, why do we go from 7 to 5 both days? I mean, it's 10 hours a day. 20 hours of training over 2 days. Why do we do 10 hours a day, Sean, of back-to-back workshops? We do a 30-minute teaching session. We do a 15-minute question and answer session, and then we take a break. 30 minutes of teaching, 15 minutes of question and answer, then we take a break. Why do we do that format, Sean?
That format is so that we can keep people engaged and not just sitting there listening, but also getting involved. We really encourage people to ask questions, and that's really where the juiciness of the conference comes out, is you can put your personal situation and your questions on the board, and Clay will tee off and give you direct advice. Even without being in our coaching program, you can get direct coaching from Clay. It's really a very engaging format. I enjoy it a lot.
Once again, folks, this event is April 9th and 10th, 2026. Get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Once again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. Whoa. Who's our keynote speaker coming to the conference there, Sean?
Tim Tebow is our keynote speaker.
Sean, question number 3, how much does it cost to come to our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
I think it's, did you say it's $250 or whatever you can afford?
That's right, $250 or whatever you can afford. Sean, how do you spell Eric Trump backwards?
P-M-U-R-T-C-I-R-E. Ooh, that took a long time.
I'll have to listen to this. And you did it right. All right, again, that's Sean Lohman. I'm Clay Clark, inviting you to come join us at the in-person Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive workshop. This event is April 9th and 10th, 2026. Get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Once again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. Right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tim Tebow, baby. It's Tebow time.
Oh, yeah.
Tulsa, Jerusalem.
You could be anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Hey guys, Luke Erickson here with the Thrivetime Show. As you can see behind me, we've got all kinds of energy going on. People are starting to show up for the conference, and it is hot in this place. We got grill guns over here. We've got people playing the drums. We've got a fire breather, and man, people are so excited as they come in. The conference is kicked off. This house is packed. We've got Aaron Hansis with Sean Holmes up there. We've got Steve Currington with Total Lending Concepts up there talking about what is possible when you just implement, when you do the proven system. It's so exciting. People are going crazy. Guys, Luke Erickson with the Thrivetime Show here with you. It is day 2 and the energy is high. People are so excited to be showing up. The team is ready. Come on, let's see what it's like to go on in for day 2. Follow me.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas, and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrivetime, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. So I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days.
I heard about it on the podcast, started listening to the podcast, became a fan, and then figured out about the workshop. I own an insurance and financial services agency, and I was hoping to learn from the workshop systems and processes. I'm big on systems and processes and always learning better ways to run a business more efficiently. The atmosphere's second to none. It's a high energy, really cool atmosphere to be around. Contagious, I would say. Just something every entrepreneur, I think, would appreciate and love. I'd say humorous, high energy, and full of substance, which I think is the key. A lot of business coaches or seminars maybe are high on motivation and making you feel good, but don't have a lot of substance that you can take back and implement, the following Monday, where his does. Man, there's a lot of valuable things. I'm gonna say, this is my second workshop. The first workshop I took back really the importance of a group interview. I used to spend hours and hours interviewing people, screening resumes, and that saving my time on that part is valuable. It was that and then the sales scripting that have been two major things just so far. Man, I think they're missing out on, expert advice from somebody who's been there, done that, built companies, has learned a lot of lessons. That's what I'm always looking for, is somebody that I can learn from that's ahead of where I am. And I think if you choose not to come, you're missing out on a lot of good advice that could help your business.
Hi, this is Charles and Amber Kolaw. We're the owners of Kolaw Fitness. We heard about Clay Clark through Paul Hood, our CPA. We've worked with Clay Clark for the last 2 years. Clay Clark has helped us take our 3 locations in 3 different states and create checklists, workflows, task lists, time blocks for every employee. He's helped us with creating systems and audits for every department, quantitative scorecards for each department and every position so that everybody has a number. It's been able to give us a lot of time freedom and financial freedom and peace of mind to know that everything's running efficiently, and he's been helpful with a lot of marketing, search engine optimization, helping us really rank high in Google, and pretty much every area of the business. It's been very, very helpful.
We would describe the experience of working with Clay as very energetic. He's full of energy. He's very encouraging, very motivating, but also accountable. So he keeps us accountable, and we love that accountability. It keeps our drive in the right direction, so we're not chasing things that aren't worth spending our time on.
Yeah, he's a great coach. He helps push us on certain areas, helps coach us in certain areas. We're all emotional creatures, and we go up and down, and he actually will tell us kind of where we're at, how we can get from there, and even emotionally, when we're stressed about something, he'll have a story to relate to, and it really helps us in every area of our business. It's been very, very helpful.
I think Clay's ability to have a whole team behind him that help him with all of his clients, all his coaching clients, is that it allows Clay to do what he's really good at, and that's working one-on-one with the client and coaching them. And then he can have his amazing staff come in and help you accomplish all these goals that you're setting.
And of course, he has all these resources, whether it's videographers or whether it's web developers, that they can quickly jump on your project, knock things out. He can quickly give you the right coaching. He's just got a whole team of people that whatever area you're lacking in your own company, he's got resources from video, web design, search engine guys who are just knowledgeable in that. Even though he knows a lot of that stuff, he's got these capable lieutenants that are ready to just take off and help you get that stuff. More stuff gets done on a weekly basis than you would on probably most than the individual or some other. We've worked with several companies before, and not as many things get done on a weekly basis. So it's been very helpful. Well, the conferences for me, I'm a slow learner, so I have to learn like over and over again, hear things over and over again. I've been to like, I think 8 different conferences, and each time you come, I learn a few new components. Some things are repetitive, but a lot of the stuff just resettles and I get a little bit more depth into each component. So, I mean, I've been to 8 of them. They're all super entertaining. He's very funny, very encouraging. You get to kind of self-reflect a lot. A lot of the stuff is really polarizing. You do a personal inventory of yourself and you'll think like, hey, I've really got to work on this, really got to work on that. So every time you come, I still get a lot of value out of it.
And as much as every conference is the same, it's totally different. So I think we'll hear stories we haven't heard before. He'll have entertainment, or he'll have speakers he didn't have before. And you, like you said, you just always catch a different part of the material that maybe you didn't catch before, or it's worded differently.
And it's really cool because some people that you've seen like a year ago at a conference, now they're being showcased as a success story, and you get to see their website, you get to see how their stats, all their metrics have improved and the revenue improved. So it's really cool to see people that just a year ago, that of course we've been here 2 years, that just came, that I met, is now being successful. It's really encouraging to see other people, accomplish that stuff. So Clay has helped us optimize our website and helped with really topping the right search engines that we need to make sure that we are very, very competitive with all of our other competitors. He's done, basically he outlines exactly what you need to be accomplishing, and he creates tasks that we have to accomplish and his team has to accomplish. And I would say over the last 2 years, we've totally ramped our website. We're topping Google in every one of our markets. We're just doing, I would say just doing really, really good. I feel very, very confident in all of our future locations and making sure that we're in front of the ideal and likely buyer. It's very encouraging. It's important to me to know when I'm working with Clay, I've been in business for a while and met with him even when I already had three businesses in 3 different states. And to know that what I share with him is staying private. He's not sending that out to anybody else. To know that when he's working with me, he's only working with no other gyms that are in direct competition with me. It's very encouraging to have somebody you can trust and rely on, that he isn't going to somehow tell your trade secrets or give information away. Just really awesome that he's a trustworthy guy, really cares about you as a client. For us, it's been a complete mind freedom because Clay has helped us create a lot of different documents and one sheets for every department, put quantitative scorecards to each department. And so for us, it's been very encouraging and gives us peace that when, as an entrepreneur, it's stressful. You go to bed at night, you're worried, did we cover this, did we cover that? So he helps extract everything out of your brain, everything from your business, put it into document creation, put it into checklists and workflows for every person in each department, and make sure that everything's getting done every week, every month, and funnel that all into KPIs or key performance indicators that you can see on a weekly basis to make sure you're moving the needle in the right area of your company. So it's very encouraging and give you a complete mind freedom and peace to know that stuff's created so you're easy to duplicate and scale your company.
Right, and then we can spend time doing what we're really good at and just trust the system.
I honestly believe everybody needs a coach. I think we're all inherently lazy and selfish and carnal. I truly believe that humans are humans. If we're standing, we'd rather sit. If we're sitting, we'd rather lay down. And if we're laying down, we'd rather be asleep. So to have somebody that challenges you, have real active candor, and be honest with you on every aspect of your company is really, really encouraging to me, because I want to know, I want to work on what we're weak at. I want to see any areas that we're not doing well in, and see his perspective from a third party, because you can look at your own business and just see the good. It's good to have somebody who does this, who's done this with hundreds of companies, really look at your company, reflect on your company, and see little chinks in the armor to make sure you cover that up so your competition can't get to you, and that you're successful overall in the big picture. So yes, I would recommend Clay Clark because he is a great friend, a great encourager. To me, he's been a wonderful friend. He's also, you can tell he cares, and he has this wealth of knowledge. He's worked with so many different companies and different businesses. He could take a concept that he's used before in the past with somebody totally different industry and see how it would work perfectly for you in whatever niche market you're in or whatever type of service you're providing. And so his brain is just a wealth of knowledge, And just to have that type of perspective on, as a part of your team and your own company is huge, super valuable. So I would definitely encourage people to use him. But one thing is you got to be coachable. You got to be wanting to get feedback. You got to be wanting to really grow your company. You got to want to put that extra 10 hours a week to working on your business and not just in your business. And so, yes, I would recommend it to anybody who's wanting to grow their company and provide great systems, checklists, workflows, great encouragement, and have accountability.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us. And it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it, because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love building relationships, but one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things. The processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due, and Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
Clay, my honor to be on your show, and thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects, you know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you, so congratulations.
And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. Hi, I'm Kelsey with K&D's Woodward Finishing, business owner at 23. So I've been working this K&D's company for about 5 years now, and we started working with Thrive not too long ago. And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. that's what we're going to hit or exceed. So we're pretty excited about that. It's been pretty much just listening to what they have to say. Their hiring process has just really been incredible as far as finding good quality help, and the just the accountability of meeting up with them weekly, and like such good insight, the resources that they have for specific business questions. It's all been really incredible. It's been a great experience, so I would recommend it to anybody.
What I've seen from Clay and his group at Thrive is they'll give you a simple system, and it's the simple systems are the ones that people can wrap their brain around. They're the ones that people can work with on a day-to-day basis.
Hi there, my name is Stephanie Pipkin. I am 24 years old and I own Black River Falls Cleaning Services. We opened in April of 2019 and it is now mid-June of 2020. So I wanted to talk today about the success and growth I have achieved by implementing the Proven Path with Clay Clark's team and my business coach Luke from Thrivetime. It has been insane to say the least. I started working with them in mid-February of this year, so we're about 4 months in of working together, and it has completely transformed my business in pretty much every facet. So I'm gonna check my notes here. So in 4 months, my leads have tripled. I was getting probably like 2 leads a week. Now I'm getting more in the like 10 to 15 leads a week. I have doubled my number of employees. I'm now hitting the highest revenue weeks in the history of the company, week to week it seems like. We went from about 6 appointments today as our highest in February to now 14 to 15 appointments a day. And hiring quality employees has become much simpler and less stressful by using their systems for hiring. I typically only get maybe 2 complaints a month, if that, and everybody shows up to work. I just have really high quality employees now, especially in something people typically consider a high turnover type of work, you know, cleaning houses, cleaning businesses. I have amazing employees now, and I get rid of the ones who are not so amazing and bring on new ones because of, you know, group interviews and interviewing every single week. It's just been great, and such I don't waste as much time on low quality candidates anymore. And your coach will hold you accountable. I mean, which I love. Again, the tough love is really great. You know, Luke's like a stern father figure, but he's also nice, but also stern when he needs to be, when I'm being lazy and not doing the things that I know I need to do because I don't want to do them. So that's just great. Worth every penny. I mean, I'd pay him $1 million a month if I can, and maybe someday I'll be able to, but I would just say go for it. If it seems like a good fit, just go for it. Do what they say, even if you think it's stupid or ridiculous, just do what they say because it'll work. You know, people, when they look at my business, you know, people in my town, they think I'm lucky. They think I'm just, you know, things just happen for me. And, you know, maybe I am lucky, but it has a lot to do with hard work and, you know, perseverance and, you know, working till you cry sometimes. That's just being an entrepreneur, which if you're a business owner, you understand that. But it's having these systems in place of, you know, of course I'm going to be successful. It's an absolute because I have all this stuff in the background happening, and I have Luke and Clay and everybody on their team working really hard to make sure that I'm a success. And I can tell that they are just so excited every single week when I'm having all these wins and things like that. They're so excited for me. So it's the best thing ever, and I would suggest to anybody to work with them. So sorry for the long-winded reply, but I just had so much to say, and I could go on for hours probably about how amazing they are. But thank you to Clay and Luke and the entire team there, everything you guys have done for me, and I am so excited to continue to work with you for years to come. Thanks so much for watching.
My saying is, if it's important to you, hire a coach. And I think that's one of the reasons people are not successful is they eat a cheeseburger instead of hiring a coach, you know what I mean? And so my coach pushes me. They're younger than me. They push harder. They're trained. And as my rich dad always said, you know, amateurs don't have a coach, but professionals always have coaches. So I've always had coaches for whatever was important. You know, my rich dad was one of those persons. Whoa.